All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakak. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the men who taught me this truth. I would like to say shalom to you Akim and you Fuakwath, you men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. It's your brother Micah Allah, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Washai, Lord willing to edify. And this is Lord willing going to be a quick lesson, straight to the point. The title of this lesson is Pray for America's Destruction, because that's really what the Lord wants us to do. The Lord wants us, to really be in the spirit of hastening this place destruction. You see? And the only way that this place can be taken out of the way or this place can be destroyed is if it's first spoken. The words of Yahweh Shemal Washai have to go forth first, in order to see the words manifest in the earth, because the Lord already said that his word don't return unto him void. And we know that the Lord is a man of war. And Yahweh Shemal Washai has declared war on America, a.k.a. Babylon the Great, And us believers, we put on the mindset of Yahweh Shemal Washai. And the Lord has revealed unto us his secrets. And what does one of those secrets entail? The downfall of this place, So not only did the Lord reveal, his plans with us, the Lord also wants us, to speak this place's destruction into existence, Matter of fact, let's start right here. This Proverbs 18 and verse 21, it says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof, you see? So death and life is in the power of the tongue, man. You see? So on the right-hand side, we're speaking, comfortably to Jerusalem. We're telling you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as you speckled birds out there, that our captivity is at its end. You see? This place don't have another, 10 years, another 5 years, another 20 years, 1,000 years, No, this place is hastening fast to pass away, But on the right-hand side, we're speaking, really rulership to the elect, which is that life, that everlasting life. But on the left-hand side, we're also, towards these elites, towards these heathens, we're speaking destruction unto them. 2/3, we're speaking destruction unto them, man, because this place has to be destroyed. Like we touched on at Sunday camp, America is in the way of the kingdom of heaven, That's why we thankful that the Lord, has a remnant in the earth. Because it tells you if it wouldn't have been for the Lord raising up a remnant, roughly paraphrasing, we would have been in Sodom and Gomorrah, meaning we would have been destroyed, man. You see? Because when you look at 2/3 and how they're maneuvering in the earth, they're forwarding America. They're forwarding the oppression that these heathens, mainly Esau, puts upon you Israelites out there. You see? King Solomon said, if all Israel was to face the east, the Lord will come and send the chariots immediately. We'll be delivered. Right here in this very moment, if all you Jakes out there, all you Israelites out there was to face the east and pray to Yahweh Shema would try to destroy this place, America would go just like that. But we see that's not the way the Lord set it up. You know, that's why he set it up for, you know, us to present our bodies as a living sacrifice, you know, and to go out on the highways and byways, you know, in the marketplace and to openly proclaim this place's downfall, man. Openly speak death to this place. While in doing that, also telling the elect that even though we're going through, you know, certain trials and tribulations, and it's only going to intensify, you know, especially since we're drawing closer to, you know, that MOTB being implemented, you know. But even with that, you know, the elect is going to be protected. We're speaking that life and keeping, you know, that spirit of faith out there for the elect, man. You know? Let's go here. It's Luke 18. In verse 1 it says, he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint, you see? So we're supposed to what? Pray without ceasing, you know? Constantly, you know, praying to Yahweh Shema Washai, you know, praying that he destroys this place, praying that, you know, the Lord exalts, you know, Israel, man. Starting with our Lord Yahweh Shai, you know, and bring the kingdom. You know, it says, saying there was, and this Yahweh Shai speaking, saying there was in a city a judge which feared not the Most High, neither regarded man. And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, avenge me of mine adversaries, you see? And we come in this same spirit, man, as this widow right here. We're looking to be avenged of our adversaries, man. Because while we got certain Israelite camps out there that's trying to backtrack and say the heathen, well, that's not in the plans of the Lord, man. And all of you niggas are doing that in vain. And it's really pitiful. Because you're looking to save a people who don't care about you. You know? That's that Willie Lynch shit that's been deeply embedded in you, man. And all you Jakes out there, you Jakes that it took the bag, you know, you want to say the heathens. But we supposed to be what? Crying out against this man. Against our enemies. You see? That's why the Lord told us to what? Set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Lord didn't tell us to make a deal with these modern day Babylonians. Make a deal with Esau. You know, the Lord didn't tell us to do that. It says, and he would not for a while, verse 4, but afterward, he said within himself, though I fear not the Most High, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. You see? And the scriptures tell you to give the Lord no rest until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth, man. So we're not supposed to be giving the Lord rest. You see? Because we understand that this is not our rest. It's impossible to rest here because you're going to get vexed at some point. You're going to get vexed at some point, man. Whether it's by the way of a commercial, a certain movie, hell, even the fact that we wear mixed fabrics. That's vexing because that fuck with your spirit. Sometimes you having mixed fabrics on, and Esau, he'll add extra death ingredients to the shit. His demonic concoctions. You put on certain clothing, this shit might have you itching, and you don't even know why the fuck you itching, man. But that's because the devil, Esau Edom, is in the power seat, man. And he has to be taken out of the way. But this is an unrighteous a judge that basically vindicated the widow, man. And that's what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is doing for his elect. But the point is because we're crying out. It says, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her. And how much more the Lord? You see? When he said he was going to do it. Lest by her continual coming she weary me. And the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge saith. And shall not the Most High Yahweh avenge his own elect? See? Which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them. You see? It says, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Why? Because we're going to be, by the fact that we're, hastening the, and speaking on the destruction of this place, that's what's, speeding the things up. That's what's speeding these prophecies up to move this dude out of the way. You see? That's why it says, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Because we're constantly crying to Yahweh Shem Yahushua to get this dude out the power seat. Put these heathens beneath us where the fuck they belong, man. You see? It says, nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? You see? And the elect will have that faith when Yahushua returns. You see? The elect is ultimately going to know that this place is going to be destroyed. That's the faith. Because it takes faith to believe in this. It takes faith to believe that America's going to be destroyed. But here it is, you're still going through your day-to-day life, seeing people so-called prosper. Edomites living in these different penthouses and shit, condos, They get the finer things on this side, really the best of the worst, because all this shit defiled. But I'm saying their living situations is better than you Jakes, Their finances is better, Because this is their kingdom. They have the access to do as they please. They can get away with murder here. You see? But that's showing you who's in the power seat. And also showing you who the hell needs to be taken out of the power seat, And that's what the Lord is doing for his elect. Sirach Ecclesiastes 25 and verse 7, it says, there be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. You see? And this is what we're witnessing. We're witnessing the fall of our enemies. Mainly Esau Edom. You see? But that's through that continual what? Crying out. I'm going to close out with this. Sirach Ecclesiastes 35 and verse 13, it says, he would not accept any persons against a poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed. You see? And how is this not clearly talking about you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans? That's clear as day crying out for all the oppression that's been done on our people.